The internet has made things easier for us to access information and to connect with the outside world. As per evolution of the internet, more and more people are finding ways to reconnect with long-lost friends, family members, and colleagues. With every second, a new smartphone device is introduced to the market, and the demand to stay relevant is forever high. Research shows that there are more than 3 billion internet users globally. That's nearly 45% of the world's population. Out of that, 2.1 billion people have social media accounts, and of those, 1.7 billion users are active social media users. With the World Wide Web so immense, it's quite simple for one to get lost in search engines and results. As a society, how do we pinpoint to a thread of a particular conversation? Without search engines, what specific dialogues should we be having on these platforms? It was in August 2007 when a former Google employee by the name of Chris Messina first invented the hashtag on his Twitter timeline. A hashtag is more of a glue that ties particular conversations together. A hashtag can also pinpoint you to a thread of a particular conversation and dialogue. As social media users explore these terms, they all have different ways of what term means to them.
A hashtag means it's one of the most simplest and quickest ways of accessing information, of starting conversations so that other people can see what you're talking about, what is trending, who is saying what in different parts of the world, so that people can also be able to find out what you are talking about. It's a way of people being able to access whatever that you are tagging. It could be hashtag too fresh and too blessed, hashtag not in my name. So a hashtag is a very, very simple way of getting people to join what you're talking about or what is trending. Like if we're to hashtag now, it will be hashtag COVID-19. It's easy to find out what is happening and where it's happening and what is it all about.
A hashtag means I need to spread the word. I need to get it out there. So I can use it in many cases. If I had to win a lotto and I want people to vote for me or something, I would just use that hashtag and be like, Pinky wins lotto 2020 something. People are attracted to that, to the hashtag so much. So it's so much easier for us to just use it as that, to spread the word.
A hashtag says to me, hey, there's something happening here. No, but a hashtag to me says that there's a conversation happening in the horizon. It says that pay attention. It says that there's something happening in the streets of Twitter. It could be black Twitter, it could be white Twitter, it could be Afrikaans Twitter, it could be whatever Twitter or whatever Facebook, whatever. It says that there's something you need to hear. There's something you need to pay attention to. Lalela.
A hashtag, does it have meaning? I think when I asked my friends this in simple context of a conversation, they said it means nothing. But what it does have is relevance. What it does or what it can do is put your message across. If you make a post and you have maybe like 100 followers, you have 100 people looking at the post. But when you put a hashtag, especially a trending hashtag, you can have more people look at your post. So I think relevance and putting out the message across is more what it means to me.
The hashtag means a lot to me. Power of hashtag. So a hashtag means a lot to me, guys. A hashtag is something that has been created to raise awareness. It's something that has been created to draw attention, right? So I'll make a couple of examples, like a hashtag RIP or UNENE. There's a lot of people, the youth, that doesn't watch the news, but immediately when you click on that hashtag, it's like you found out what's happening around you, what RIP UNENE talks about. And that draws attention to the youth. So for me, hashtag is something that we need. It's working for me. And I think it's working for people that don't watch TV, but are very, very active on social media. So hey, hashtag life.
Hey, what's again? Ke jal life ka host pipe ya fire brigade. Nah, hakina stress. That's why ke apara shit that tablecloth. Well, keep a do. To me, a hashtag means that it's a vehicle that leads one to a library of information, a plethora of so many opportunities. You can either explore it positively or negatively. It is used as it says, it's a gateway. A hashtag is like a gate that you can open, which was hidden in the past. Before the era of technology, I mean, so many things were covered up. But the hashtag has opened up, it has ballooned information, and it's opened up doors to so many voiceless people. It's given a voice to the voiceless.
The power of the hashtag concept has in a lot of ways helped people find missing loved ones, raise funds for a good cause, and we have also seen how it helped marketing companies in creating brand awareness and created jobs for active online users.
The use of a hashtag on everything that I post has made one to be more visible, has made one to have a voice, it has made one to trend, it has made one to have that online presence, whether it's conversations that are good or bad, but it has definitely given me a loud voice to say, this is me, I am here, I am part of the movement, I'm part of the trending culture, because we live in a generation where we are always on our phones, we are always on our tablets, we are always on our laptops, so we are always online. So the use of a hashtag, it definitely makes one alive and present. The use of hashtag in everything that I post has made the voice louder than what it was before.
Firstly, when you use a hashtag, when I use a hashtag, it gets the word around. So if I want something to trend, if I need lashes, if I need glue, it can spread around. For instance, on one of my pages, School for Side Chicks, if I want to hook you up with someone, you could say, Pinky or Principal, please hook me up. So use that as a hashtag. It gets trending very quickly. That's another thing. A hashtag can make you trend so quick and whatever topic that you want to spread around.
I mean, it helps me build a story because, you know, I'm not like a big human being who everyone knows in the world, but it helps me build a story with all my tweets because, or all my posts on Instagram, I keep the same hashtag. And I know that eventually in the near future, when someone puts in that hashtag, it will tell my entire thread story, my entire social media history. It will take it through each and everything that I've ever posted under that particular thread. So it helps me archive my story or archive my narrative or archive my voice and sometimes copyright my jokes. I would say I would measure the impact in the near future, but it has definitely put me in a position where I feel good about my story. Yeah, and it has helped me participate in some people's stories. Because when other people put out hashtags, when there's a campaign of a particular kind with a particular hashtag on it, I'm able to participate in that conversation by adding that hashtag, meaning that when someone goes through that particular hashtag thread and whatever follows that, they get to know other people's voices in relation to that particular hashtag.
As the lockdown continues, homeless people have got the keys and are feeling at home in the quiet streets of Joburg. As they were
a hashtag concept has worked very well for me. As Umbali, I've started Mbali Motivate, right? So immediately when I said hashtag Mbali Motivate, it was easy for people to follow me just by clicking on that hashtag Mbali Motivate. And it just made people to understand what am I doing and what is it about, you know. So I've gained a lot of followers just by that hashtag. So for me, it worked very positively. For now, it hasn't worked negatively anyhow, a hashtag, because of I've seen my hashtag that are very bad. Your hashtag Mbali must fall or hashtag so and so must pay, you know. So I haven't been in a negative side of the hashtag. So far, so good. So hashtag for me is working.
Well, I think that the hashtag has opened so many doors for me in understanding people, understanding different views, understanding different cultures. Because on social media, you get it often the raw information. You do not get it censored or make-up information. I got 50% discount, a shirt for every man. The hashtag voices what people really feel. So from my point of view, what I've realized is that it actually gives you an opportunity to glean into what someone has experienced firsthand in terms of pain, in terms of their past, in terms of what they desire, what their ambitions are. So it's actually so much more than just a cover-up. It's actually in the open. It's an arena of beautiful things that you can see.
Corona, renale matata. Ke utlwile ko Josie. Oi, kunzima kolona, kunzima. Ka sekgowa ke corona.
Social media has become a voice for the voiceless.
As womanhood, we have the power.
We have seen how people have used this platform to challenge socio-economic issues, injustice of the law, and referring issues to those in power through hashtags.
The hashtag has a great impact when it comes to social issues because it gives it more talkability, it extends the conversation, it gives it so much power and so much weight because a lot of people are able to join in on the conversation, whether it's the social issues, whether it's good or bad, whether it's starting a movement. The narrative hasn't changed because hashtags were, I think around 2007, that's where it started, to grow on Twitter. And then it moved to Facebook and then Instagram. So the narrative has just been broadened. It has extended, and because a lot of people are using it. Some might disagree and say the hashtag has killed the English language. It hasn't, because that's how this generation speaks. They speak my hashtags. Hashtag blessed, hashtag happy, hashtag I woke up like this. No, you didn't wake up like that. Okay, Zile.
I had this lady, she DM'd me and asked me if I could post that she's selling her laptop in order for her to pay her rent. Luckily, I made it so quick for her. I posted her issue, and then within an hour, there was a lady who was willing to pay for her rent. So instead of her selling her laptop, her rent was paid. Now that makes life so much easier instead of you going to another website and selling your laptop, which could take forever for you to get a buyer in order for you to pay your rent. And you know how hectic it is right now. Everybody needs money.
The power of the hashtag is like headlines. It's like a huge headline. It's like, hey, did you know about this? Did you know Mutula Shagile Kai Kai? Did you know a house burned to Kai Kai? But it highlights important issues. And sometimes relaxed, casual issues, but it highlights things.
When it comes to the role of social media in highlighting the plight of women and children during the 16 days of activism, it's really helped a lot. I think anytime that you have social media really kind of pushing a narrative or pushing a story, it helps to get the message out there. And it's important that we pay particular attention, because we have such high rates of gender-based violence crimes in our country, that any opportunity that we can get to highlight the issues affecting women and children is important.
Stop killing us.
In South Africa, every year, we dedicate 16 days of activism for violence against women and children. Based on the numbers, it has been noted that the number of perpetrators and victims is on the rise.
Well, the effects of social media on gender-based violence is a two-edged sword. First of all, it can be interpreted as a positive and a negative. Negative in the way it could be used as a platform to promote gender-based violence. For example, you post a video in which there's obvious woman abuse, or the objectification of a woman's body, or the objectification of a man's body. Because we must always look at, on both sides of the coin. You cannot just look at, say, it's a female-based thing or a male-based thing, because gender-based violence, as it says, it's not female-based violence, but a gender-based violence. So negatively, if you look at it from a negative point of view, it can easily be used as a platform for sinister means. But on the positive side, we've seen where it gives a voice to the voiceless. I've also noticed that there's a lot of men that are abused that's often too shy to go on social media and say that, listen, my wife beats me, my mother beats me, my wife is beating me up.
Social media and gender-based violence hashtags have played an important role in driving the message of activism against these crimes. What we have seen is a number of hashtags being created to try to curb the issue and discuss the issues of national importance.
We have to build a society with you. And we're not asking you to build us palaces. We're just asking you not to violate us.
There's quite a number of hashtags, gender-based hashtags that I know, that I'm familiar with, especially not in my name, and men are trash, which really, I mean, I'm speaking as a man, it really got my attention. For the first time, it was one of those hashtags where I had to ask myself, am I trash? You know, at some moment I was like, I'm an I, yeah, bias too well about, you know, this thing can be, that can be true. And at some point, it allowed me to fight with people of a different gender because we didn't understand each other and we didn't understand where we stood based on the issue. So it's easy to think that I understand, I know what's going on and I'm aware and I don't want it to happen. But to be able to have a conversation with someone and have them change your perspective, it's a very important thing and it's a very valuable thing.
You know, there are a lot of gender-based violence hashtags that are doing their rounds on social media. But if I had to zoom in on one specifically that stands out, that is hashtag men are trash. It was started a few years ago. Why? Because men are trash. But I feel like sometimes, you know, it's one-sided. It needs to say human beings are trash because sometimes you do get males that are abused by females. But of course, going to report it, you will be laughed at, or some people are just scared to do it.
Through all hashtags that have been trending, non-profit foundations were formed to support victims, women and children in this country.
If you look at how social media has contributed to changing the narrative around gender-based violence in this country, it has actually done a lot. I mean, when we pulled off the biggest march in the country for women in 2018, and we shut down the country, we had the hashtag, the total shutdown. And since then, GBV has been a conversation that we've been having in this country. So the effect of hashtag total shutdown, other hashtags like not in my name, hashtag my body is not your crime scene. I mean, all of those raises the conversations around GBV in this country, and it does lead to change.
What triggered the establishment of the foundation was the untimely and gruesome passing of Uyi last year. Her passing, which was an act of gender-based violence, sparked wide debates and discussions in South Africa and around the world. The family felt that more could be done, hence the establishment of Uyinene Mkhwetyane Foundation.
The question that needs to be asked, especially from organizations, civil society organizations, is how do we use these social media platforms to our benefit? How do we get our message out there? How do we get the conversation started? How do we make people aware of what is currently happening in the country? And so, for instance, during COVID-19, one of the things that we are doing as an organization is survivor extractions. And we've done that solely through social media. People contact us via our Facebook pages, people contact us via Messenger, and it also allows particularly victims and survivors that might not have had access to any support network, it also allows them that.
social media has definitely contributed positively towards the narrative of gender-based violence in South Africa. There's a convenience in clicking a hashtag and having information about gender-based violence pop out, information that can be shareable and that people can engage with.
Some of the gender-based violence hashtags that have stood out for me has been #MeToo. That for me has probably been one of the biggest hashtags. I mean, we've seen people like Harvey Weinstein go to prison. We've seen a lot of powerful men being outed with that hashtag, and the conversation really starting worldwide around gender-based violence and what it looks like and what perpetrators look like. Because there's this misconception that perpetrators cannot be handsome, powerful men. And so the #MeToo hashtag has been probably one of the most standout hashtags. And of course, within South Africa as well, we had #Sandton Shutdown, we had #Total Shutdown. And those two hashtags as well have done quite a bit around steering the conversation.
The earliest hashtag that grabbed my attention and that I remember was the hashtag Bring Back the Girls. We then saw #Karabo Mokwena and #MeToo. This was then followed by the famous #AmINext and #IamNene. All these hashtags were very important in introducing us to what we now know as social activism. These hashtags were powerful force behind movements and campaigns, all geared towards responding to gender-based violence.